and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Speakers for Schools Industry Spotlight Talk. We're delighted that you have been able to tune in and join us. Welcome. Hopefully you're ready for this fantastic event. I know that we are. We're very thankful to have everyone join us, and there's definitely a lot going on today, so hopefully you're ready and excited for it. This one is going to shine the light on CyberFirst, specifically a competition that they have going on, which is very exciting. But we're going to start off with a little overview of who CyberFirst is, and then what the girls' competition is, including insight into some similar sort of challenges and things that you might experience during that competition. And then we'll finish off, hopefully, with an inspiring talk from a lady called Lisa, who is the CyberFirst Girls Competition ambassador. So we're very excited for that. We'll have around about an hour for this session, and it's going to include presentations, talks, lots of things involved. So hopefully it should be quite exciting for you. Now, if you do find yourself having any sort of issues or anything like that today, please do let us know in the Q&A box that you'll find just underneath the stream on your screens, and one of our moderators will be on hand to help where needed. You can also interact with today's talk via a word cloud that we have going on. So if you want to, while we're waiting, please do take a couple of seconds and let us know your answers. Perfect. Now that we've done our housekeeping, I'm going to move on to the main event. So I'm going to hand it over to Natasha from CyberFirst team, who's going to talk a little bit first. Here we go.
So before we get into some more details of what the girls' competition is, I want you to just take a moment just to have a think of what do you think of when I say the word cyber, and in what ways has it changed our lives? So when you joined this course, you hopefully would have seen a word cloud for you to answer about what you think of when you hear the word cyber. So here is an example. So when I think of cyber, I think about how far mobile phones have come. So compared to the phones of yesteryear, we have the world at our fingertips now. So let's have a think about everyday things that we are impacted by the world of cyber. It's safe to say that cyber is a pretty important and life-changing thing, right? So rather than listening to me telling you why cyber is so important, Charlie is going to play a video that tells you better.
This is a world where technology is everywhere.
It's smooth running trains.
And safe flight paths for planes.
It's power to the grid.
And power to the people.
And it's where hashtag 2 words can start a movement.
And where 2 lonely hearts can meet.
Technology means news travels fast.
And rockets travel faster.
It's language translation.
Film and music creation.
It's the life or death surgery that goes without a hitch.
Technology is everywhere.
And it means everything.
So it needs protecting.
At every age.
From every walk of life.
We'll come together to safeguard our digital planet.
Because when tech touches lives in a million different ways,
we know that cybersecurity is our first line of defense.
This is being a modern citizen.
This is finding a calling with purpose.
This is a cyber-first world.
So defend it.
So defend it.
So defend it.
To defend it.
Visit ncsc.gov.uk/new-talent.
Inspiring stuff, right? But what is CyberFirst, you ask? So let's get into what it's all about. So it was set up by the National Cybersecurity Centre, also known as the NCSC. CyberFirst is a programme of opportunities that's designed to help us understand and protect against cyber threats. They cover a broad range of activities and initiatives designed to encourage young people, such as yourselves, to discover a passion for tech by introducing them to the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity. The aim is to inspire more people to start a career in cybersecurity, to develop people through various entry points so they can find a path into cybersecurity roles, and to build the future first line of defence in a growing cyber-first world. Now, I know what you're thinking, this sounds great, but what's it got to do with me? Well, as we mentioned earlier, the world of cyber has had a huge impact on everyone's daily life, from old Auntie Sue, who uses it for her online banking, through to your mate Aidan, who's checking the latest on Instagram. And like every industry, cybersecurity needs people of all backgrounds and experiences in order to thrive. Does anyone want to give this question a guess? What percentage of cyber jobs in the UK are held by women? So I'll make it a little bit easier and give you some options to pick from. So you've got A, 9%, B, 17%, and C, 25%. Only 17% of cyber jobs in the UK are held by women. That's just one woman out of every 6 people. Another major challenge is the skills gap. So with the ongoing development of new and shiny devices and online services, cyber threats are constantly evolving. There's a huge demand for certain skills to fill cybersecurity vacancies, but there's not enough people learning them to fill these roles. What do you think we can do to bridge this gap, to get more people interested in learning these skills? So let's look at some ideas and see how we can all contribute to making the cyber industry more inclusive and skilled. So some of the things to think about are female mentors, clubs, online courses, any hobbies that might relate to cyber. If you were in charge of a program like CyberFirst, what would you do to encourage more people into the industry? We need to get more women and young people into cybersecurity, and the way we're going to do it is by getting people excited about cyber and showing them a career path they could take, and that's what CyberFirst is here to do. After all, this is a cyber-first world, so let's open it up. Remember how we mentioned that CyberFirst covered a broad range of activities and initiatives? I'm going to talk you through the CyberFirst Girls Competition. So, the CyberFirst Girls Competition is an annual competition where teams of up to 4 team up to tackle challenges like cryptography, logic, and artificial intelligence for the chance to be crowned cybersecurity champions. Every girl from the winning teams will take home a brand new laptop and have a chance to win prize money for their school. Now you're going to play one of the student videos on the CyberFirst Girls Competition.
Your minds are incredible. They can think of ideas that change the world. Learn new skills, solve difficult problems, and share knowledge that can last forever. Basically, your minds are your superpowers. And when your minds work together, amazing things can happen. Like winning the CyberFirst Girls Competition. It's easy to enter. You don't have to know about cyber or technology. And you could win big prizes, like a brand new laptop for you and money for your school, as well as an invite to a prize-giving celebratory event. So, team up with friends, ask your teacher to enter your team, then do the challenges. And show us what your minds can do.
So, the competition is open to girls that are in Year 8 in England and Wales, S2 in Scotland, and Year 9 in Northern Ireland. And since 2017, has had over 70,000 12 to 13-year-old girls take part. Some have even gone on to work in cybersecurity. There's no cyber or tech knowledge needed. There's no limit to the number of teams that you can have per school. And the best part is you win prizes like a brand new laptop and money for your school. But don't just take my word for it. Have a look at the highlights from last year's competition on this video.
Today in 1 sentence.
Amazing.
Thank you, CyberFirst!
I would now like to introduce you to Sylvie, who is one of our current bursary students that previously took part in the girls' competition.
Hello everyone, I'm Sylvie. So I did the girls' competition when I was about your age, and I can genuinely say it's the reason that I'm studying computer science at university now. My mum actually suggested I do the competition. I really didn't want to. I liked languages. I didn't like computer science. I was all right at maths, but I had so much fun in the competition, even though we didn't do particularly well, that I had a look at what else CyberFirst had to offer, and it's genuinely, I guess, changed the course of my life. So I really recommend doing it, and it's really, really good fun, even if you think you're not really someone who knows anything about cyber. It's the reason that I know about cyber now. So.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Sylvie. So it looks and sounds great, doesn't it? So to find out more, you can search CyberFirst Girls Competition or visit the website, where you'll also be able to try out some example challenges. Teachers, there's also an information pack available on the site that will give you everything you need to know about the competition and supporting your students. So some dates to remember for the Girls Comp. Registration is already open. The competition starts on the 18th of November 2024 and it ends on the 27th of November 2024. Now this is a way off, but if you think that you want to go to university in the future, have a look at our CyberFirst bursary scheme on our website. I'd like to now introduce my colleague Amy, who will be taking you through some of the CyberFirst competition challenges.
Thanks, Natasha. Hi, everyone. My name's Amy, and I'm with the CyberFirst team. So what we're going to be doing today is a live demonstration of some example challenges. These challenges are on our NCSC website. If you search NCSC Girls Competition, you can find this whole tab of information about the competition if you've forgotten anything that we've told you today. And as with all live demonstrations, you'll have to forgive me if there's any hiccups, but hopefully that won't happen. So the first challenge we're going to go through is this CyberChef Recipes Challenge, a recipe for a secret spiced shake. So what this involves is going to CyberChef, which is a handy-dandy tool that looks like this, that was created by some of our colleagues in GCHQ, that are the same organization as us. And this is a very, very diverse tool in what it's able to do. It's like a giant calculator. You can add things into the input field, add different functions to it, and see what the output result is. So the challenge that we're going to do today has given us an image file to start with. So we're going to just drag that image file from my downloads folder into the input file here. And you see all of the code that sits behind that image file. It doesn't make a lot of sense at the moment, but CyberChef has a function called parse QR code. And if we drag that in, you'll be able to see the result of, if you were to scan that QR code with your phone, this would be the result of that. Now what we see here is a bunch of text, lowercase letters, uppercase letters, an equals sign at the end. And when you're doing challenges that are in the CyberFirst Girls Competition, it's worth knowing a few patterns that might come up over and over again to help you determine what you might be looking at if you're trying to solve a puzzle. So if anyone's ever heard of base 64, you're on the right lines here, exactly the right lines rather. When we see a combination of numbers, uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and a dead giveaway is that there's an equals sign at the end, this could be base 64. The usual numbering system that we use is called decimal or base 10, and we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 different numbers that we use. Base 64 uses letters and in uppercase and lowercase to create 64 different combinations of what each character could be represented by. That's a whistle-stop tour, but please Google base 64 if you're interested, because it does come up quite a bit. If we search in here for base 64, we can say to base 64 if we want to turn this into base 64. If we select from base 64, then it will turn our output here into the result that you see. So hopefully this one might look a little bit more familiar to some people. These ones and zeros are binary code. So what we need to do next, you might be able to guess, we can search from binary and see what the result is afterwards. Then we get something that looks a little bit more like text. Not English text, mind you, but text nonetheless. The next step here, if I was solving a challenge in the competition, would be to try a few different common ciphers. And the one that we are supposed to use here is Vignere decode. Vignere decodes require you to have a key, and the instructions on the website say that that key is CyberChef. And you can see that after inputting that key, we have something that looks a lot more like English there. Milk, ice cream, 3 strawberries, and habanero hot sauce. Delicious. So that's the recipe for our secret CyberChef spice shake. The next challenge that we're going to take you through is Be Bold, which is a cryptography challenge. This doesn't look like a traditional ciphertext, but can you find the flag using this unusual looking key? If we click this link, we can see the key. Might be a bit small for you to read, but I'll bring it up larger in a moment. We can see a key with the entire alphabet and then some codes next door to each of the letters. The ciphertext, or the text that we're trying to decode, is this nursery rhyme. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down, hickory dickory dock. And I have a PowerPoint slide that I'm going to share just to make that information a little bit clearer so that it's all on the same screen for you. So I've added the text here exactly as it said on the website. Hopefully it's as clear on your screen as it is on mine that some of these letters are in bold in a seemingly random order. And if we take a look at the key that I showed you earlier, there's groups of 5 characters, some letter Bs and some stars. So the key here, this is the exact same text that you just saw, except I've split it up into groups of 5 characters. So I've ignored the spaces that were there originally and put in my own spaces instead. And I have the key here bigger for you so you can see it. Some of you might be able to guess what the next step will be. The B stands for bold. So it's a bit like if you've ever seen Morse code or any kind of substitution cipher, which is what this is called. And that just means each letter of the alphabet is instead replaced by another letter, a number, some kind of code. And in this case, it's a string of 5 letters where some of them are normal looking and some of them are bold. So hopefully this will let me draw on here for you and we can work through it together. So the first set of 5 characters that we have is bold, normal, normal, bold, bold. And looking down our key, bold, normal, normal, bold, bold, that means that it's a letter T. So I'm going to write a T above here, if it will let me. Bear with. Ah, there we go. The next one, normal, normal, bold, bold, bold. We can see that that is a letter H. And we can work through each of the letters like this to produce the result. Some of them you might be able to guess. An E is very common after a T and an H. Patterns like that, as I said earlier, can help you solve some of the challenges. Normal, normal, bold, normal, bold. So this one is an F. Lost my mouse. There we go. So in the interest of time, I'm going to fill these in for you. But any of the challenges that I show you today are available on the NCSC website for you to do in your own time, plus a couple of extras that I won't have time to go through today. Oh, forgive my handwriting. The flag is poor mouse. So if you were completing a challenge on the CyberFirst Girls Competition, the flag, as we describe it, is just the same as an answer. This is something that when you complete the challenge, that will be flagged up or made obvious, and that will be the answer that you can copy and paste into the challenge field, and you'll get your points. The next challenge that we're going to go through is a slightly more difficult one. As you can see, there's a networking challenge and a logic and coding challenge that I won't go through today. But the Dev Console Cybersecurity Challenge is the next one that we're going to try. Excuse me. This challenge will be difficult to complete on a mobile device. This, unfortunately, is the case with some of our challenges in the girls' competition, just because of the nature of them. Some things don't appear quite correctly in a web browser on a phone, though it is possible to complete some of the challenges if all you have is a phone. That's completely fine. So we're going to read through the challenge now. Most web browsers will have a suite of built-in tools to help web developers when designing websites. These tools are available to everyone on every site and are very useful for looking into how sites work. The developer console is a JavaScript interpreter that allows you to interact with the document, the web page. That's just another word for the web page. So JavaScript is a language that almost all web development is based on. And there's loads of online cheat sheets that you can use that will help you to solve a challenge like JavaScript or any other coding language that you might come across. Some schools will be teaching you Scratch at the moment, or perhaps more complicated programming languages for older students. And these are excellent foundations to have if you want to complete any of the logic and coding or some of the cybersecurity challenges that involve websites and web development and sort of hacking into a web page in a controlled fashion, of course. So here we need to open the developer console in our browser and complete the tasks that it gives us. I'm going to zoom in just a touch. So what we can do here is read through the instructions that it gives us and use the developer console in the browser to check these off and complete these challenges. So I'm going to do the keyboard shortcut for the dev tools, and we get a space in the top right here that we can type. Hopefully that's large enough for everyone to see. I'm not sure if I can zoom into that part. There we go. So the first instruction asks us to set a JavaScript variable called x with a value of 167. And in programming languages, variables are just placeholders. They are a storage for some kind of value. So perhaps you don't know what that value is yet, or the value is likely to change, or it's something that you want to use in lots of places in your code without having to repeat or edit that same value over and over. In JavaScript, we can do this by saying x equals 167. And you'll see on the left-hand side here that that instruction has been checked off. If you've done any algebra so far at school, you might have seen things like x plus 2 equals 6. What is x? This is really similar to how we use letters and words in programming languages to sort of stand in place of certain numbers. The next instruction asks us to set a JavaScript variable called y, which we can do in the exact same way, with a value of 0xab. So some variables will just be numbers, some will be strings of text, and some might be other bigger storage units as well. You can see that says 171. I'd be interested to know if anybody is able to figure out why 0xab equals 171. I'll leave that one up to you. Add x and y together and store in a variable called total. So this is where we call our variable by a word, total, and we can ask it to be equal to x plus y. The console will work that out for us, and it's checked off on the left-hand side. Set a JavaScript variable called w with the value of the inner width of the window. So this we do start in a much similar fashion, w equals, and then built into web browsers and web development in general, there's loads of functions that we can call to do things, to manipulate the web page in certain ways. And these exist as part of the Chrome browser, Firefox, Edge, whichever one you may use. So to call the value of the inner width of the window, we can do window.innerWidth. Oops, my mistake. It's very key that, I'm going to write that again, apologies. It's very key that you write it with the correct capitalization, otherwise it won't know what you mean. Inner width, there you go, can see it auto-completing for me there. The next instruction is change the document's title to "This is mine now." So this is another built-in function called document title. So we can set this equal to "This is mine now." I own this web page. The next instruction asks us to call the function callMe, which is created by this challenge. And to do that, we can simply type the name of the function followed by an open and close brackets, and this will call the function. You can see that this particular function returns the string "well done." The last instruction here is probably the most complicated one. As I say, there's boatloads of cheat sheets online that you can use for JavaScript, Python, C, any kinds of programming languages that you may come across. And this is one of the more difficult challenges that we have in the competition. So if you're not following what I'm doing here, that's absolutely fine. And that's something that I'm so sure that you can work through and look at a cheat sheet and you would be able to recreate this yourself in no time. This last instruction is the most complicated one. Create a new function called myfunc and set this to return the value of 12. So we create a function by writing the word function, which is nice and easy, with those open and close brackets that we see on the previous function here. And then we open our function using the curly brackets. And we can add the return 12 into there. So when I hit enter, this should have our function returning the value of 12. And you can see that our instruction, the last instruction on that side, has been ticked off as well. So our flag or our answer is flag, and then all of this gobbledygook. I wonder if you can tell what sort of text this might be here. So I would copy and paste this into the challenge window on the girls' competition and redeem my points. So I keep referring to the challenge window on the girls' competition, and I'm going to show you what that looks like now that we've been through our 3 example challenges. As I say, there's loads more challenges on the actual competition when it goes live. So make sure you register as soon as you can and get your spot. And a couple more example challenges on the NCSC website as well. So this is what the competition website will look like when it goes live. If you were to register now, or rather if your teacher were to register now, create you a team and you log in, you'll see a little welcome banner here just to say that the competition isn't live yet. But this is our testing site, and we are able to see what it will look like for you when the competition opens properly. So you can see the 5 different categories that we have here: logic and coding, networking, cybersecurity, cryptography, and speciality. The speciality challenges are ones that don't neatly fit into the other challenges, other categories rather, and may include some slightly newfangled stuff or web dev, things to experiment with. So the other challenges, logic and coding, includes a little bit of what we've just done, though that was a cybersecurity challenge because that's more web development. But other programming languages like Scratch and Python come up in here. Regular expressions, there's a little bit of mathematics stuff in here because that's all to do with logic and coding. Networking is hopefully fairly self-explanatory, unless you don't know what a network is, and that's completely fine. A network is like the internet, interconnected network that joins together all of the devices that might be in your home or in an organization or in the world. And there's various different rules and protocols that allow us to send information over networks. And these challenges pertain to that. Cybersecurity is all about staying safe, often staying safe online. So there's lots of things that relate to guidance that we have available on the NCSC website in here. Password cracking, PIN number cracking, things of that nature. All of the challenges are allowed to be solved in whatever way that you want to solve them. So you can use Google, you can refer to books, you can go on apps, you can search for stuff on your phone, you can use calculators. It's not like an exam at all. This is for you to do. This is for you to break it however you want to break it, and for you to use your initiative and search up things that are going to help you and do a bit of self-learning in the process. Cryptography is all about code cracking, slightly different than coding or programming languages. This is like the Visionaire cipher that we saw earlier on CyberChef. These things might be shift ciphers, Caesar ciphers, Morse code, rail fence ciphers, pigpen ciphers. If that means nothing to you, I would encourage you to Google any words that might come up in these challenges that you don't recognize, and that will help you to learn some new ciphers. You can practice, send messages to your friends encoded and see if they can tell what you're saying. And then speciality, as I say, is stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into the other categories quite as well. So that one is a bit of a mixed bag. There are 3 different categories per challenge, different difficulties per category. This is beginner, intermediate, and expert. And once you first log on to the competition as it goes live, all of these will be available to you. So if you're super keen, you can dive straight into the expert ones, but we would certainly encourage you to try the beginner and intermediate ones first and build up some of that knowledge that you might need. Equally, if you start trying to solve a challenge and you realize that it's super difficult, some of them definitely are, but will hopefully give you lots of points, you can come back to it later, do some more research, ask the other people in your team. Nothing's going to disappear. These are static throughout. Sometimes there's 2-part challenges, so if you solve one, another one will appear. But other than that, everything you see here is available anytime during the 10 days of the competition. Natasha's already given you the details of how, who, and when can log into the competition, and that's on the homepage of the website, and also available on the NCSC website as well. So let me know on the Q&A at the end if anybody has any more questions for me. But other than that, I will pass back to our next speaker. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, welcome, and that was very interesting. I actually took some notes in that last talk as well. My name's Lisa Forte. I'm working with the CyberFirst Girls program to help encourage people to consider cybersecurity as a career choice. And I've been asked to come on today just to talk to you a little bit about my journey into cybersecurity, what I've learned and what I'm taking away. This will only be sort of 10 minutes long, so sit back and relax, and hopefully you'll take some interesting things away from this. My route into cybersecurity was actually very unique. It was very different to a lot of people. So I actually studied law at university, and like a lot of people, I wasn't really sure entirely what I wanted to do. At school, I was always very shy. I was very withdrawn. I wasn't sort of the cool person. I definitely wasn't really outgoing. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my career. And I studied law at university and went on to work in physical security, protecting boats from pirates for a big company. And then I moved into the police in the UK, and then finally set up my own company, which is where I work now. So one of the things I really wanted to convey today was about the varied roles that exist within cybersecurity. So the role that I do, my company specializes in helping other companies prepare for the event that they might have a cyber attack. So we go into the companies and we work with all sorts of people within the company to look at what would happen if a cyber criminal attacked this company. And within my company, we hire people who are very technical. We hire people who are not at all technical. And there's a lot of varied roles. I'm not a particularly technical person, yet I've run a company, my own company in cybersecurity for 8 years now. And before that, I've worked in cybersecurity for many years before. And I think when I was really thinking about what I wanted to talk to you about today, one of the key things I think to take away is, whatever you think cybersecurity is, there are so many different roles within cybersecurity. So just looking at my own sort of friendship group, I suppose, within cybersecurity, I have friends who, like myself, are not very technical. Some of them deliver training into organizations, so helping other people learn about risk. You might be very, very good at that. I also have friends who are penetration testers who test the security of companies, of websites, of products that go out to make sure they're secure. I have friends who work in sort of secure coding and development. I have friends who work in digital forensics, so looking at, sort of deconstructing and sort of working out how the malware actually works. So what's really interesting about cyber, and what's the best thing almost about it as a career, is no matter where you sit or what your interests are, there's probably a job that fits you really, really well. So that's the first point that I really wanted to make. The second point that I think is really important to understand about a career in cybersecurity is it's great for the fact that you could work in any industry you wanted. It's really unique as a career in that regard. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're really interested in Formula One, okay? And you're really keen on it. I'm very interested in Formula One, which is why I bring it up. You can work in cybersecurity for a Formula One team. If you're really into fashion, you could work in a big sort of fashion designers cybersecurity team. If you're really interested in all different things, you can work in all of those industries in cybersecurity. So it gives you an opportunity to work in lots of different companies. So, and that's great because it also means you can have lots of variety. So you can go and work for a bank, and then you can go and work for the government, and you can go and work for a sports team or whatever it is you want to do. And cybersecurity really gives you that ability, which is quite unique, actually. The next reason I want to sort of pitch cybersecurity to you as a potential career is, unlike a lot of other careers, it's really flexible in terms of how you can work. Most people have a choice. They can work from home, they can work from offices, but also lots and lots of people now do this sort of digital nomad working in cybersecurity, which means they can travel around the world and they can work from Spain or from Japan or wherever it is they want to work, because we allow that flexible online working in cybersecurity. And it's part of our community. We very much value that. So that gives you a lot of opportunity in your life as well. It's very well paid as a career. Oddly so, like not a lot of jobs that, not a lot of career paths are as well paid as cybersecurity at the moment. So that's obviously a benefit. Like I said, there's lots of different roles. So even if you're sitting here watching this thinking, I'm not really that technical, or I don't know if I want that to be my entire job, there are loads and loads and loads of roles in cybersecurity that don't require you to be hugely technical at all. They just require you to have an interest in the subject and want to make a career out of it, really. The other thing that I think is really great about it as a career is it's really challenging, and it's really fast paced. And so what I mean by that is every day is different. For me, every single day in my career is different, which I love, because I personally like that variety. I like to always feel like there's something new happening, something really exciting. You spend a lot of time at work. So it's really important, for me at least, that my career is really interesting. So it is very challenging and it's very fast paced, which means that sometimes you can wake up in the morning, everything's fine, you're having your cup of coffee, you've got your to-do list for the day, and then something happens, an attack happens somewhere, and your whole day just has to change straight away. And you have to suddenly start working out what the problem is, how you fix it for, in my case, for my clients. What do I have to say to them? What do I have to work with them to do to protect them, or to get their systems back online if they're affected by whatever attack has happened? And that's really exciting. There's very few careers, I think, where you get that level of excitement as well. So it's really exciting, it's really fast paced. But in my personal life, I'm also someone who loves to do adventurous things. So I go caving, I go climbing mountains all over the world, in Peru and everywhere else. I went ice climbing in Mongolia recently, traveling around, doing all these amazing things. And why am I telling you that? Well, cybersecurity really enables you to have a great life, have money to be able to go and do stuff, have the flexibility to go and do it. But I think the key message that I want to communicate to you and get across to you here is that whatever it is you want to do, whether that's career-wise, whether that's sports or anything you want to do, just have the courage to go after it and try. Because I was the shy girl at school. For many years, I was very, very shy, very withdrawn. I definitely would never have said I would be running my own business, traveling around the world by myself, climbing mountains, and coming and talking on webinars like this, and going and speaking at big events around the world on stage, talking about cybersecurity. I would never have said I would do that. I was very shy. So my point is that wherever you are now, just believe you can do it and go for it and try it. Because if you try something, you will find that you can work out how you're going to do things. And there's lots of possibilities. There's lots of help. The programs with CyberFirst Girls is just fantastic. There's a great community. There's a lot of support set up to help you do this in cyber. But even outside of cyber, just go and try things. It doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. If you want to try something, go and try it, because that's what's really, really, really important. So I hope you can take something really positive from this. Please go and look at all the different range of cybersecurity careers there are. There are so many. Go and browse the different opportunities that are available, and there really is something for everybody. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of this wonderful event. And please, go for it, try things, and just try and believe in what you can do. Thank you.
Okay, great. I believe I'm handing back over now. So, yeah. Maybe not. Is there anything anyone would like to say before we look to wrap up today's session? Okay.
Charlie, sorry, we couldn't get off mute. Were there any questions that got sent through at all?
Yes, we do have a couple of questions that have come in. So I'll ask you those. So the first one is, after doing an entry-level course, what would be the best next step into learning how to get into the tech industry?
Hi everyone, I've been sat in the shadows. My name's Keith. I'm the CyberFirst delivery lead. Hope you all enjoyed the session today, and thank you to all of our speakers. I think everyone did a fantastic job. So next steps. I think it was mentioned earlier on, we have a CyberFirst bursary scheme, which I think is the best thing to have your focus on in terms of where to go next with your career. Right now, for the CyberFirst Girls Competition, it's about focusing your eyes on potentially going into STEM studies with your GCSEs. So it's about saying, okay, where does your passion lie? What subjects do you need to take? Comp Sci, computer science, is one of our primary GCSEs that we would push people towards. But we also encourage you to look at all STEMs, mathematics, science, physics. They all give you a good grounding that will support you in cybersecurity. However, as Lisa quite nicely said, the reality is that cybersecurity is a diverse profession, and many different subjects that you can study can lead you into the profession, depending on where your passions lie and what area of the profession you want to be within. So right now, I would encourage you to consider cybersecurity as a profession. Look at what opportunities are out there, whether it be dealing with incident management and guidance and support, or if it's penetration testing, going deep into the technology, and let that steer you into what subjects you cover. And then see what pathways we've got available within CyberFirst. We have a lot of virtual online courses that we set up, and then we have the bursary program available, which pays you £4,000 a year whilst you're studying at university. And again, to the point, none of the bursary doesn't require you to do a specific degree. We recommend our certified degrees at the NCSE certified. Again, if you search certified degrees, you'll be able to see NCSE certified degrees. You'll be able to see degrees that we certify. But when it comes to the bursary, you don't need to do a specific degree at all because of the diverse nature of the profession. I hope that gave you a bit of an idea about things to look at and ways to go. But basically, the first thing is for you to start to think about what areas of cybersecurity you want to go in, where your passions lie. Are you a people person? Are you a techie person? Do you like negotiating and talking things around with people, or do you like to be able to just get your head into a screen? That will then steer you on what would work well for you in terms of what areas of the profession. Final comment: Cybersecurity Skills Council. If you Google that, that's got a list of all the different skills within the profession, and I can also give you a steer on which way you'd like to go with your career.
Great, that was a really good answer, and it actually answered my next question, which was sent in, which is a brief explanation of software careers and data science. So really great website, and if you let me know and send that to me, I'll be able to share it along with the feedback form and the recording, which will be sent out a little bit later today, so that's really helpful. But the last question that's come into us then is a question around your competition, and it's asked, can females in year 13 participate in the competition?
Unfortunately not, no. It's for year 8 is the focus of it. For year 13, you're in a prime space to be looking to join the bursary. The applications are open now, they close on the 11th of November, and that is a way to get into the CyberFirst community. And it not only gives you the £4,000 burst payment a year, which I mentioned, it also gives you access to employers. Every year we send our bursary students on some placements, and that's where you can start to get the skills necessary to find a career. Around 90% of the students that join the CyberFirst bursary scheme go into cybersecurity related roles. And back to what I said before, not all of them are doing cybersecurity related degrees. So it shows how the bursary really does give you the skills, growth and awareness in a profession that make you employable in this space.
All right, thank you for answering that one. That is the last of our questions. So thank you. It's been a really, really wonderful presentation. Is there anything else any of you would like to say as we end today's session?
I think the one thing that I would like to just echo is from all the speakers today, hopefully they got across, is that for the girls' competition, it's something that if in the slightest bit it intrigues you, even if it's the fact of, hey, we can get together with 3 of my friends and potentially win a laptop, do it. It's amazing how many girls that have got involved with the competition at the beginning say, oh, I wasn't really keen on doing this, and at the end of it go, wow, I enjoy this, and not only do I enjoy it, I am good at it. So back to what Lisa said, believe in yourself, do what you feel that you can do inside, and actually, even if you feel that you can't do it, but you'd like to do it, try it, because you'll very much, the chances are you'll surprise yourself about what you can do.
All right, thank you so much. It's been really wonderful, really interesting, and hopefully you're feeling more informed about the competition, or those watching, and you're excited to participate in it. That is all we have for today. It's all we have time for. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know Lisa was an amazing speaker, very, very inspiring. Great to go through what some of those challenges look like and what all about CyberFirst and the girls' competition is about. So a really great, insightful session. Thank you for joining us. Please look out for your emails, as a feedback form will be sent to you shortly along with the recording and other information. So keep an eye out for that one today. But that's everything for now. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Have a good day.